Today I'm showing Active Directory Part 2. So let's I share my screen. Okay. So I have already shared my screen. So previous session I have taken in Active Directory is a time-based restriction access of account related informations. So today we started next part is a part 2, and part 2 we totally perform in a hand-on experience, like how to install the Active Directory services, how to create the user account, group account. Okay. So so now I'm starting the lab. So before we start the lab, I'll explain which type of server I will take in this lab session, and what is my client machines, and what you will perform in during the 1 hour session. So first scenario, I have take one of the server, the Windows Server 2019. 2019 is the evolution period of server, but you will take 2016, 2003, 2000. 2003 is an old version, but nowadays 2008 is used. But Microsoft to introduce the new server version 2019. So I'll show the lab session 2019 server. This is server operating systems. Okay, and I will take two client machines. The client machine is client Windows 10 operating systems. Okay, which is client machine. So the server Windows Server 2009, I'll install ADDA service. ADDA service, that means Active Directory Domain Service. This service I have already explained part 1 video. Active Directory service, Active Directory Domain Service, which is helping to make the domain service. Okay. After install this ADDA service, then we'll create the domain name. That means is a logical boundary of your network. That means all the client machine and all the devices are member of this domain for center repository base or managed. Okay. So so I'll give the IP address. My server is using the static IP. The IP is 192.168.1.2. This is my server IP, and the client machine Windows client uh, CL1 have okay. My DC name is IP is 192.168.1.2, and CL1 IP is the same series of IP. Okay, will not take different series of IP, otherwise your network will not be established. Okay, I hope so everyone to know the basic of the network concept of network. And 1.4. Look at that, the three machines are communicating to each other because they are using same series of IP address. So my DC, the domain name is ISOEH.com. Okay. Keep your mind, this is my domain name, and the domain name is allocated in a global wise or name wise. When you will configure in a real scenario in a production based on network, you create a domain. The domain name, you first you choose the domain name from any sharing the domain organization like GoDaddy.com, okay, like ivivo.com, any Amazon, which one you take the domain space. After you take a domain space, the name is space is globally, you will find out. Then you make the server, you make the domain network on this particular name wise. So iswitch.com already is mentioned in our public domain. So I will not configure this domain in a public network. To look at that, this is a private IP, so I will create the local network. Okay, so this is my network infrastructure of domain networks. So let's I go in a okay. We'll perform this lab on virtual machines. We will perform lab on Oracle VirtualBox. Okay. So everyone to know na what is a VirtualBox. So VirtualBox and virtual machine. It is sharing the physically strength of the hardware. If your hardware machines has high configuration like RAM, CPU, and hard disk, so you never to buy the physically appearance of the server hardware because your physically machine is sufficient to run more than three or four computers because your hardware capacity is so high configuration, so no need to buy another server application. And nowadays is lots of the companies install on premises is a VMware. Oracle VirtualBox is a educational purpose and is a free versions. So as a beginner, you take the practice lab session on Oracle VirtualBox. If you're doing the lab on the VMware, the VMware is some little bit is complex to understanding the first time for beginner students, for beginner candidates. So you will do the try this lab on Oracle VirtualBox. Oracle VirtualBox is a free of software. You can download this software from internet on your machine. Okay, so how will to download this machine, how will to where you download this Oracle VirtualBox? Just type on the browser download uh, Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, for Windows, just click on it. Yeah, to download Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, keep your mind. Don't do the download version of 7.40. 7.40 is found the bugs. So when you install the 7.30, sorry 7.40, it is bugs find out and your VM will not be work properly. So this is the latest version 7.2, 7.20. You can download 7.20 on your local machines, and this software to share your hardware, to share your hardware, RAM, CPU, and hard disks, and also your set of infrastructures. Okay, so my machines already have high configuration, so I will perform the three machine on same physical based machine. Okay, so I'm going to Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, first I have already installed the three operating system on the server machine, sorry, on my local machine. So uh, the time already some time is resume, some time is reduced. Okay, so if you do the entire process like first time install a server, client install, and second client install, so the lab session will be so long. So before you do this, so try to keep install on your machine, on a virtual machine, and these types of lab, I think so everyone to do this because this is a professional videos, this is a professional classes to perform the domain based networks. Okay, so some little bit knowledge what is a virtual box, what is a virtual machines, and what is a VM. Okay, so let's do. uh, I'm opening the VM machine. Yeah, this is my DC is a 2000, not 2012. This is a 2019. So first we'll go the settings, and first I set the networks. Is a local only network. Is a host only adapters. So is a internal network. You set the internal network is local only. Okay. and client 1 also settings. Internal only means it is a local only networks. Okay, so is a physically is not a physically, is a virtually, is a unique computers. Okay, so client 2 networks. Yeah, so I'm starting now server. uh, I have already configured domain name, and that means I have already installed the ADDS service on this server. In my previous part 1 session, how to install domain service, how to install the ADDS service on server. So I will start uh, to configure ADDS services. Okay, so I I skip to configure Windows Server, I'm sorry, WDS service, Active Directory Domain Service, because I have already installed on it. So the second part, to set the IP address on this machine one by one. So they are successfully pinged to each other. Okay, and then to rejoin, then register the client machine from domain, because there are two types of user. We have already mentioned part 1, so I once again I explain it. There are two types of user access account in domain in Windows environment. One is a local user account. Local user account, I this my machine is a this is a individual machine. So individual machine, my name Pankaj, that is my individual machine. So is a local user account. So Pankaj means Pankaj is the admin, is individual admin. He can do everything. So Pankaj account never to control anybody because he's an individual user. Okay, this is a local user account. And domain user account means domain user account like Ramesh account where is kept, the Ramesh account is keep on domain server. Okay, domain server. So the Ramesh account is not available on the local machine. So Ramesh, if you want to access his account, so Ramesh need to registered client machine which is maintained by domain server. Okay, to domain user account need to be registered member client machine, then he or she access his account on any registered computer from domains. Okay, so I can understand, so I you can understand everyone. Okay, so you have any questions, so you can ask to me. I will give the answer up to end of the session. Okay, so my survey is ready now, so I check it. Okay, this machine already is a DC, that means domain controller. If your server is a domain have successfully configured, so the login credential is come ISEH backslash administrator. That means this is my domain controller. Okay. So what is the first work? The first work to set date and time accurate and set the IP address. Okay, just a minute. Just take a time after two not two 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, look at that. The server manager is loading now. If all are loading, then we can accessible. Yeah. So it's loading successfully. Just a minute, I'll give you scale mode. Sorry, yeah, this is scale mode. Okay, so this is a dashboard. This is a local server. Dashboard is all the information here: the DNS, manageability, event, service, perform, BPA. Okay, local server. This is a local server information. That means this is properties information of this server this server machine. My company name is DC and domain name is isoes.com. Windows Defender public off, and what is the IP address 1.2 already is mentioned here. And look at that, the date and time is Chennai and Kolkata. So look, the time is 5:15 and is a perfect time exact same. So no need to change the date and time again. Okay, and this is my processor is a my virtual machine processor is my physical machine processor, and the memory is at 4 GB, and total disk size is a 50 GB. Okay, so I told I have already configured domain controller in this machine. So if you want to configure domains, you are you perform the first time the lab. Just go in add role features. Okay, please keep the notes. It's very helpful after in the session. You perform the lab at your home. So first click on local server. Local server is not mentioned. Just first open your server manager. Server manager, how will find the server manager? Just a minute. Just search, just write this server manager. Okay. Uh, this server manager. Click on server manager. Okay. Wait few minutes. Uh, Click on Android features. Click next, next, next. Okay. Before perform these tasks, first you set computer name, second set IP address, third off firewall. After that to install LEDs. Okay. So you said click on Active Directory Domain Service is already installed because I have already installed in my first lessons. So Active Directory will I will not discuss on it because it's a very vast concept. So in future I'll explain. I will take another 1 hour session how to make the certification service. Okay. So Active Directory, what is Active Directory? Active Directory is a domain service, store information about object on the network and makes these informations available to user and network administrators. Okay. So Active Directory is a centralized repository server services which keep entire the user records, user data and administrator data, and also group accounts and organization account to keep all the information in the central we have. So ADDS use domain controller to give network users access to permitted resource anywhere on the network through a single login access. So in a big, if an organization have 2 or 4 computers and not more than 10 computers, but your organization have hundred of computers and hundred of computers, that means hundred of the user work. So hundred of the user is very is not a impossible. It's a very difficulties to maintain the local behalf of securities. Local behalf like uh, uh, user unable to be access my local server local machine hard disk, unable to access local machine behalf of control panel, unable to be access local behalf of command prompt, unable to be access my hard disk status. So it is happen when you make the domain client base of network. That means server client base of network. But individually wise is the difficulties to check and monitoring on the local user behalf. If your organization have only 3, 4, 5 computers, so you will manage locally behalf. But your organization have more than 50, 60 or 100 computers, so is the difficulties to maintain local behalf of user monitoring purpose. Okay, so the concept come is a domain client base of network. Domain client base of network entire the 100 number of the user account kept on my domain server, that means server domain control. And when user try to connect his account on registered client machines, registered client machine means the client computer is a member of domain and the user account on the server. So users, the server user work only specific server client base of machine. So before the user access his account on client machine, the client already registered from domain, and you set the policy group policy on a central behalf and register the client machine on group policy behalf. So after we apply the group policy, automatically all the policies affected, everyone, any one computer log, any one user connect any computers, so is automatically affecting policy is a group policy. It is happen through client server base of network infrastructures. It is also be possible in the local computer behalf. But if you do the local computer behalf, so you can set the policy individually, single wise computer. It is 100 times of set the group policy. It's take a more times, I think so 1 and 2 days or in 1 days at your work abilities. Okay, so it is centrally managed to we go in active directory services. Okay, the active directory like these types of services help to maintain troubleshooting and activities and also monitoring on local user premises. Okay, so I'll do already install, so I'll know click on next. Okay, so I cancel on it. Okay, now the next task to register client machine client 1 and client 2 from domain. Okay, I saw one things. Go to once again server manager. Just a minute. Wait, okay. Yeah, so click on tools and find out active directory user and computers. I click on it. Just a minute. Okay, sorry for interruption. Look at that. This is my domain name isoeH.com, and the default directories is a built-in is a default some groups. The two-person sign is a default groups. Okay, and click on a computer. This computer, uh, all the client, if your client registered from domain, the client icons is appearing on it. Okay, so I have two clients, client 1 and client 2 is not appearing here because uh, the client machine is not member of this domain. So after member of these two client machine, the client machine is appeared is here. Okay. uh, Now second thing is domain controller. Domain controller is already is my this local machine is a domain, and this domain is computer DC type GC and default site. Just click on it. Look at that. The computer information is sharing here. Domain name is dc.iso.co, is a fully qualified domain name. It's a global catalog server. Okay. And what is the operating system using here? The operating system is Windows Server 2019 standard aberrations. What is the member of this? This member is a domain controller. ISOEH.com slash is a domain user member. Delegation user, I will not apply any user. Locations, and just I not apply this location is a another types of options is available in center repository we have. What you want to set this at information according to your scenario. Okay. So next thing is the foreign security principles. Foreign security principle, like if another server is like a child domain server, a child members of this server, so is foreign security policies happen. To manage this service account, to we never any service account like operator service, yeah, backup operator service, yeah, startup authority service. This such type of special types of accounts. And now you create the user. If you want to create the user account, group account, computer account, you will create from this way. Click on users. Look at that. The single person's symbol means this is a user, is an administrator user, and the guest user is a normal user, but this user not authorized some special types of services, and there are lots. Some issue in locally here. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so let's start. So users users is options when you create the new accounts of the user account. So just you create in users. Okay. And we want to create a group account. To create a group account, so I'll show the letters. So first the task perform how to register client machine from domain account. Okay. So domain server. So minimize these machines and start my client machine. Client 1, client 2. Okay, is loading now. Okay, so client 1 just login is here. Look at that, is not a member, and another machine is, yeah. So first of all, I check IP address of this machine. IP is not setting, so I set this IP address. Right click on network settings, change it to options. Right click. Everyone, I think so know how to set the IP address. The given the same IP 192.168.1.3. This 2 is my domain. 1 is my gateway. And don't forget to give the DNS IP. My DNS server is 2. Yeah. Now go to Windows firewall. You already is turned off the firewall. So try to ping the service pinging or not. Yeah, service ping now. The second things, change this computer name. Right click properties, change settings. You can change this computer name. Click to change here and CL1. Okay, and change work group is a local peer-to-peer network, and click on domain and give the domain name what you have to configure, what your domain name isoeH.com. Click OK. If everything is okay, the message appear welcome. Okay, give the domain authentications ID, domain username and password. So my domain name is administrator and the password is this. After successfully added, the message is welcome to the IHOS domain. Okay, after is okay and the machine will take restart and the successfully machine is added with server. Okay, so another machines, just a minute. Click on firewall. Yeah, firewall is shut off. So now try to ping. Yes, ping now. Change, give the computer name CL2 and domain name. Okay, switch to server. Click on computer. The two computer icon is appearing here. Okay. It is happened after register the client machine from domain. From this domain, the two client machine is registered and the domain user to log in his account on particular both machine. If your number of client machine is added in future to like this way, first registered client machine from server and the domain user after that login on the machine. So click on the client machine, look at that all the information is here, which type of operating system is running on CL1. So the full name of this machine is cl1.isoh.com and the operating system name is, you give the name is not appearing here. Okay, I think so the machine is not ready. Yeah, one machine is ready now. Okay, so click login now. Another machine is this, is loading now, is loading. Okay, login. To look at that, I want to show the host name. Just click on it, CMD host name. The host name is CL1. Okay, and just a minute. Click on PC properties. This is my full computer name cl2 isos.com and this is a computer name. Okay, this is a full domain name. This computer is member of domain. Okay, so if you try to connect and let's look up isoh.com, it's showing the ISOEH.com is a member, is an authoritative domain. So I will not discuss what is authoritative domain, what is a reverse lookup domain. It will discuss in future upcoming taking the session. Okay. So the computer is registered here successfully. The two computers and just a minute. Let's refresh this page. I then click on it and yeah, the information is here. Windows 10 Pro version 10.0. The member of, okay, what is the member? Like just the thing, we have a three departments, HR, sales and production. And but we have 100 number of computer and 100 number of computer is member of domain and the three departments have hundred of user, hundred of user divided by equally in three departments. So I want the sales department have fixed computer, HR department have fixed computer, and production department have fixed computer. So like this way, you are registered normally, like in a like this way. After successfully added your machine from server, just add the computer. Okay, just add and give the group names or department names. The machines is successfully added on particular departmental wise. Okay, understood? So I'll do the later, not current this. Okay, so our this lab will perform, the lab is a time-based restriction access account. So I'm creating two account. Okay, just right click, select users, just right click, new. Look at that in the new computer, contact, group, inter organization person, printer, users, share folder. I'll not explain right now. Okay, in future I'll take the session to I'll explain all the things. In the two session is not a uh, appropriate times in 2 hours of session to know the details active directories. So it is only 2.5 months of program. You know the what is the active directories and how to maintain, how to configure everything in 2.5 months of program. Okay. So click on user, just give the name of the user. Just I'm giving a Ramesh, not Ramesh, is a Rohan, and the last name Rohan Roy. Okay, you give the case sensitive name Rohan. Okay, what is the login name? The login name just Rohan. Okay, the Rohan is a login name, not a full name. Rohan at Gmail, Rohan at ISOEH.com. Just next and give the default password. So user must change the password at next login. This is a default password. When user try to connect his account the first time, the one option is appear. You can change the password before you log in your account. So it happen if this section is enabled. If you will check this option, the password will never be expired in future. If you uncheck this option, so your password will be expired after 30 days, 15 days. The tap value is maximum 30 days, okay, a minimum 15 days. And some users remove this, some user left the companies, so the admin, his account is not deleted, but his account disable. Okay, so I select the next and finish. The user has successfully created. Now I create the one of the user new, another one account users I created. Another user's name is John Mehra. Login name John. Okay, and next, and the same. Okay, the default password. Next, finish. So now the time based restriction. No, John Mehra want his account in the evening hours, like his login hours time in evening 6 p.m. to uh, early morning, late night 2 p.m. Okay, so how to do this? Just double click on user accounts. Look at that. This is a information of John Mehra properties. So John Mehra property is a description. What is the role? Is a tele support, tele support. Okay, executive, tele support, executive, telephone number, email ID, John. This is a database. It maintain uh, for searching behalf. These are all the information is kept for center repository information. Okay, address, you give the employee address details, account information. Account information is here, you set the login hours. Okay, so click on login hours, and this is login hours. Login permitted means blue and white means deny. Okay, so this time login hours is a his login hours time in the evening 6 p.m., night 2 p.m. Okay, so 6 p.m. is a night. Okay, and in the morning. So 6 p.m. is, if I say this is here 6 p.m. No, so just Sunday is off, just login deny, and Saturday is off, is login deny, and rest of the is not working areas, working hours, so it also deny. Okay, and same the deny, and it's a deny. Now what is the login hours? Look, 5 p.m. Okay, 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. So just a minute, I just review this here. Okay, so now what is the permit login hours? 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. That means 6 hours of duties. Okay, click on OK and apply, and now. Okay, so now I try to log in individual computers account. So this is my client. This is just a minute, minimize this machine now. The two machine is here. So others users, click on other users. The first user is John. Okay, and the password is pass@123. Your user password must be changed before signing. Click OK and just set this password. Okay, pass@123. Okay, your account has time restriction that keep you from signing in right now. Okay, my policy is effective now. So John, his account access after on sharp 6 p.m. or 6 1 minutes after. This is a time restriction base of account. It is happen for extra level of security. Why do this? Because we will never trust any employee in the company. So IT admin, the user account have just apply only for working areas. If he outside and his account is illegally utilized and he shared the account in a hackers, and during the hours the user is working hour 10 to 6 p.m. and the hacker tried to access his account on a duty hours. So user account is another level to provide security for restriction time based. So it also help to monitoring when user log in, when user log out. Okay, so it keep the track user working hours. The others click and the normal user Ramesh. Okay, and the password is, okay, just a minute, the pass is pass. Username password is incorrect. Okay, what is a username? Just a minute. Oh, Rohan. Sorry, Rohan. Rohan. And the new password. Yeah, your password have been changed now, and you successfully log in here. Just sign in. Yeah. Your screen is appear here. You can work on machine, and this happened. The Ramesh account is domain user, and domain user access his account on registered client machine which is member of domain. It is our lab, okay? And this lab will perform in two session, part 1, part 2. Okay, so who are joined is today is new. The part 1 video is available on our YouTube channels and any Facebook channels, also Instagram also. So he view and watch part 1. After that, easy to be understand part 2. Okay. So look at that. What is my full name is appearing here. Click on it. Just is loading here. This PC users is Rohan. Okay. My client machine name is CL1 is another user and Rohan is another user. So uh, the time-based restriction access account the lab have successfully done now. And thanks for watching the session. In future, in coming session, I will explain how to host freeware mail server because company don't have a I'm not telling you don't have a sufficient amount, but company wants to build a own mail server. And if you purchase the mail server, is a Lotus and any paid mail server, so you pay the amount. But in a public domain, the free mail service server is available. One name is Jimbra mail server. So in coming session, I'll explain how to configure DNS zone, DNS record, and how to host on mail server that will work in a local network and also public network like a same like a Gmail wise. Okay, so Jimra mail server is a freeware mail server. You can install the Jimra mail server on Windows platform and also Linux platform. And the upcoming session upcoming I'll take the session. I'll announce right now how to configure DNS server on Windows machine, Windows server, and how to host on mail server on Linux. Okay, this session we will distribute it in two part session, part 1, part 2. Part 1, I'll configure what is a DNS and how we'll configure DNS server on Windows Server 2019 also. Okay, so thanks you all to watch this session. And if you have any query, any questions, you can send your questions. I will give the answer, and I'm very happy, giving your answer because I know that who is watching this video. Okay, Active Directory is not a little bit of portion of networks. It's a very big, very vast concept. Okay, you will know everything in Active Directory. You will self-learn in any platform or contact with our center. I am trainer of server. Just I brief information from myself. I have 13 experience IT sectors. I work on Windows Server for 5 years and also Linux Server. So if you join in our ISOEH team, I'll provide a training and also feedback. My training, which take a session, is very helpful me and also improve myself What can I do better way to understand everyone? Okay. Okay, once again I thank you. Bye bye, tata.